Welcome to the Inevitable You podcast, featuring William Sumner, creator of the Inevitable You coaching system, which focuses on personal power and potential. It is a unique blend of the latest in neurosciences and New Age ideas and philosophies, and it is designed to help you discover your greatness. This is the first episode in a series of 6 that covers the 9 enhancements of the law of attraction.
William has blended the best of the best, a strong background in the military at West Point, 20 years in senior roles during the telecom era, a master's in social work, and an abundant coaching career. He has arrived at a place where his success rate at guiding individuals to change based on neural pattern work is just phenomenal. Think about the difference between living a life as the greatest version of you rather than living a life feeling less than that. Most self-help speakers instruct how to change and the fact that one can change, but they often don't give you the tools in such a way that you actually implement the change. Bill digs deep into your thought patterns, pulls out the parts that are not serving you, and transforms your life into a greater, better version of you.
We believe that everybody came here with a great purpose, a great cause in life. If you're in it, I congratulate you. You're less than 10% of the population. If you're not in it or you haven't found it, one of the keys to doing that is the movie The Secret. It's also a book, The Secret, that pretty much follows the transcript of the movie. Very, very good material. We're going to be covering 9 enhancements to The Secret tonight. First thing I want to talk about, what is The Secret? For those of you that have not heard The Secret, it's been out over 2 years now. It actually really hit the airwaves when Oprah Winfrey broadcast her first show on The Secret on February 8th. And on February 8th, the next day, her website had the most hits of any show she'd ever run. It took her switchboard down. She had the most viewer response. In fact, it was so startling, Whitney, that she followed up with the show The Secret Revealed a week later. So Oprah's talked about The Secret. And to give you a counterpoint, the American Psychiatric Association, the APA, has come out against the movie and excoriated the movie and does not recommend it for the average viewer, the average reader. So the first question is, because it touts itself as a secret, is it really a secret? And the answer is yes, it is, and no, it is not. First of all, no, it is not, because The Secret, which the movie calls the law of attraction, it's more presented in the movie as kind of a new age energy format and matrix, that you have thoughts, that these thoughts energize the universe, they energize energy patterns, quantum level of energy, and just the mere fact that you have a thought, then they do some great graphics in the movie, and I recommend that all my clients watch this movie. It's one of the best out there, and when you get these 9 enhancements, it's really going to fly for you. But these thoughts energize the universe, and the premise is, if you focus on something, and that something could be something that you want or something that you don't want, whatever your thoughts are focused on, that's what you will attract. Now, ancient wisdom goes back, almost biblical, pre-biblical, ancient philosophers, Aristotle, Socrates talked about aspects of how you create reality. This is all under reality creation. The problem is that many of you cannot use this or do not use this, either because of belief systems or because that you have challenges and problems with it. Now, first enhancement. Step 1 of The Secret. There's 3 steps to The Secret. It's ask, believe, receive. So we're going to talk about those 3 steps. The first one, ask. Ask for what you want. Now, 90% of the population, we know from studies and research, when they come in and talk about what do you want, they'll sit in a chair with me, they'll sit in a seminar audience, and I'll say, why are you here? What do you want? And think about your life. Why are you in your life? What do you want from your life? 90% plus of people will say, I'll tell you what I don't want. I can't stand this. I'm tired of that. This is awful. I can't stand any more of this. And they are focused very busy on what they don't want. Now, if you've watched the movie or seen the movie, you'll see that portrayed as almost vibrations going out from your body. So if you believe in New Age energy, you'll have a great belief system around, oh, I get that. I want to focus on what I want. But let me give you a neural pattern reason, and this is why my work is so much fun and interesting and exciting. The neural programming patterns that you have are congruent with New Age energy and are congruent with physics, quantum physics. And the prime metaphor that I always love to discuss, because we've all heard it as children and many of us still use it with our children. Most of us, when we were kids, heard this command, little Billy, do not spill the milk. Don't spill that milk. Now, when you hear that command, and that is an attraction, that is a command, that is a neural program, you have to think of all the potential ways that you could spill milk in order for that action, that success to take place. So mom says, dad says, don't spill the milk. Now, you're going to spend a lot of neural energy going, oh, I could spill the milk this way, or I could spill it that way, or, oh, God, that'd be an enormous spill. I can't do that. And in that energy pattern, that neural pattern, you're actually creating the imagery and visualization. And you guys all know how powerful visualization is for spilling milk. There is no visualization for not spilling milk. But it's worse than that, because how you feel about this success, the emotional patterns that you have when you are focused on it, there are no not feelings either. So while your imagery is now focused on spilling milk, and in your body, the feelings that come from neuropeptides, that come from patterns, this is not New Age energy. This is hard physiology on how our body functions. When you associate feelings to spilling milk, because you now understand that's the pattern that you have in your brain, that produces stress and anxiety and fear and, oh, I can't do this. And this is a very profound the more conscientious you are at trying to be successful, the more conscientious you are at following this command from an authority or from someone that you really want to please. When they tell you don't spill the milk, you don't think of 50 ways to do this. You think of 200 ways to do that, which actually increases your probability. So you're actually fighting a neural program, producing all the stress and anxiety that's associated with that. And what the secret says is, ask for what you want. And in this commanded space, what that would sound like is pour the milk carefully. So if you're a salesperson going on a sales call, don't focus on, oh, I can't screw this up, or I hope I don't lose the deal. Focus on the success you're going to have. Focus on how it's going to feel when the deal is closed and done. If you're a parent, if you're a spouse and you're talking to a loved one and you're saying, honey, I really wish you wouldn't do this, and emotions are high and context is high, and you're both trying really hard to be successful, many times, 90+% of the people do not understand that what's happening is that they're focused on what they don't want, and when they attract that, when they get what they don't want, they just struggle that much harder.
But Bill, sometimes I put it out there and I decide this is what I want, and I ask for it, like you're saying, but it doesn't happen. And that's when I talk to people about The Secret, and they come back to me saying, oh, it doesn't really work. And sometimes it doesn't really work.
We're going to actually talk in a little bit more detail about that in step number 2, or enhancement number 2. It's the believe sequence.
I want to take a moment to thank you for listening to the Inevitable You podcast. If you are seeking additional information about what we have been talking about, please visit www.theinevitableyou.com.
The movie actually does a pretty good job of telling you, when you believe, how you execute that step is you have to put the emotion in your body that you would have when that object of your desire or that thing that you're requesting actually comes true. But what we're going to go through in a little bit is an example of how most people do not do this step very well. So we're going to focus our attention on, when you're using The Secret, how do you believe when in fact you don't believe? So with that said, let me cut over to line 1. We got Lindsay from Colorado Springs. Lindsay, how are you doing tonight?
Hi, I'm great. Thanks. How are you?
I'm fantastic. What's your question?
Well, it's more more of how can I take the secret philosophy to maybe take away something that I don't want anymore in my life, like anxiety or something. So instead of just believing that, oh, I'm just not going to have anxiety anymore, but truly believing it so that way I can focus on really getting it out of my life altogether.
That's a great question, and there's two really critical steps. First of all, Lindsay, in order for you to, and you understand that you got to know what you want, when you're trying to get rid of anxiety, what do you really want for the new state or the new thing that you want? Do you know what that is?
Well, I just want to feel peaceful, and typically my anxiety is related towards health problems, and so I always think, oh, no, something's wrong with me, and I wanted to incorporate secret-type thinking to kind of release myself from that, but then as soon as, I have one little symptom of something, it just completely throws me all the way back, and I'm calling the doctor, making an appointment, making sure I'm not crazy, and all of those other things. So I would really like to focus in on how to get that out of my life and not always have these major setbacks every time I think I'm fine.
That's a great program that you just ran, Lindsay, and I'm glad that you could articulate. You want peace, but you create anxiety towards your health. You said, something's wrong with me. One little symptom. This is how the emotions work. When you connect to what's wrong or what you don't want on an emotional level, emotions are what really begin to catalyze and juice and energize both energy, if you believe in the secret, or neural patterns, if you understand how your brain works. And in fact, when you sit there and have one little symptom, you could just as easily focus on the amazing immune system that you have. And your body, for everything that's gone wrong, unless you have one really major thing troubling you now, generally, if you've got even a disease or a longer illness or a shorter illness, your body's amazing. It takes care of that. So in the space of I have one little symptom, you can create that space as, oh my God, my immune system is going to work. All my cells, my T cells, they're kicking butt on this thing that's bothering me. What an amazing body, what an amazing human I am. And as you feel my voice, feel how you would put that positive emotion as opposed to the negative emotion of anxiety or, oh my God, is there something bigger, or is it coming back again, or oh, I thought I beat it. And here's one little symptom. It really helps to put this enormous positive intention and positive power into it. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. And actually, that's a very nice way to put it. I talk and reach out to my father a lot about these issues sometimes. And his advice is always, well, go back the last time you felt like this, and let's say it was 6 months ago. Well, clearly you've lived for these next 6 months, so obviously nothing's really that wrong with you. So always try to focus on history and let that take you forward to the future. And I always think that is a good way to do it. But I was looking for something more, not just to focus on the history and try to calm myself down that way, but yeah, I guess just looking for a way to really attack it right at the time. And I think that makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense.
And let me give you another little help here. You said your dad says go back to last time and you felt it. Now, I believe that it in that sentence was the illness or the symptom, correct?
Right. Yes.
See, you can go back, but go back to the last time your immune system healed it. Go back to the last time you defeated it. Go back to your knowledge and certainty and memory that my body can do this. It's done this before. So it's these little subtle shifts as opposed to going back to when you felt bad, which, by the way, is a very normal reaction. People go back to a bad memory or they go back to an old anxiety and they go, oh, my God, here it is again. Here it's back. Why didn't I beat this? Go back to to the win, go back to the solution, go back and really re-energize that feeling that when you went to the doctor and the test cleared up, or you had that, I felt bad for a week at work, but then there was that morning when you woke up and you felt great. Right. Go back to that day and go back to the gratitude that your immune system creates for you. And I'm going to give you one other really big help in this that I think is really key in all this. There's a martial arts principle that says when you resist something, what happens when you're resisting something, Lindsay?
Probably it comes on worse, maybe?
Yeah, it's a law of life. For every action, there's a reaction. So if your action is to resist, the reaction is to resist back to you almost at the level that you're pushing on it. So to push something away, to say, oh, I hate my illness, or I want it away from me, or here's one little symptom, get away from me. There's a resistance that we generate that actually encourages the thing that we resist. And one thing I want to tell you, and really feel these verbs, I want you to take whatever is going on in your body, and the first thing you need to do is love it. Fall in love with it. And when you fall in love with the thing that's bothering you, you can find the reason why it's there. What lesson is it there to teach you? What purpose does it have in your life? And when you fall in love with bad people or bad deals or bad things in your body, then you have the ability to bless it and release it. And when you fall in love and you bless this illness or you bless what's going on and you release it, then it really is gone, because you've taken the lesson, you've taken the reason why it's in your life, you've enhanced your immune system, you've enhanced all the successful winning properties in your body, and you can feel great about it.
Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense, and I think that it sounds so simple to follow, and it's something that I think is very doable.
And again, Lindsay, the key to all of this is really focus on the emotional connection that you have to these issues. Don't just intellectualize the process that we talked about, because you're a natural and you're very good at generating anxiety at one symptom. So we know that you're really good at generation of an emotion. Just generate a lot of love, a lot of gratitude, a lot of joy at whatever one little symptom produces, because your amazing immune system is about to come out and do some serious damage on a bad guy.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll give that a try next time I start to freak out.
Well, don't freak out. Fall in love. Get your love on. Don't get your freak on, and you'll have a great time with this.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate your help with that. That puts a new light on the day for me.
All right. Have a great night, Lindsay.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you for listening to the Inevitable You podcast. William will be covering more of the 9 enhancements on the next episode. To learn more about this extraordinary coaching system, please visit www.theinevitableyou.com, where you can begin transforming your life today.